Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make square number 3 of the 2025 crochet sampler blanket. This is the mini bean stitch, and isn't it sweet? It is done in US terminology with Stylecraft Special DK, which is a double knit or an 8-ply, and a 4mm crochet hook. Of course you'll need your scissors and your darning needle at the end. So let's get into this together. It works up nice and quick, so I hope you enjoy. Just before we start, I want to talk to you about the size of these squares. Miscalculating square size is the flavour of the month for me at the moment, it seems. In previous videos, I may have said that my squares were 26 centimetres. Now, you know what I have done is read the size of the ruler. That's a 1:2 ratio. Going on a 1:1, it's 13 centimetres, and that's correct of this other one as well. So these two both begin with 27 chain. It's 26 being divisible by 2 plus 1 for the turning chain. Now I did the same amount of stitches for this square, but as you can see, this square is too big. So what the pattern is above this chain does seem to make a difference on the width. So I'm going to start again with this bean stitch. It's the mini bean stitch, and I'm going to do 21 chain plus 1 because I am determined to get it looking just right. Beginning with your yarn end in your right hand, we're going to make a slip stitch to put on the hook. Now we use it the way I just did so that we can tighten and loosen this slip stitch, and that way you don't end up with that unsightly big loop at the very beginning of your work. After completing your chains, I did 23, we're going to work in the 3rd chain from the hook. Now the top of the chain has the little V's, and I do work in the back bump just because that's the way I like it. You go with whichever way suits you the best. So we're going to pop our hook into that 3rd chain from the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pop your hook back through, pull up a loop. Now there's 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, and make a chain to secure that little bean. Then we're going to skip the 1 chain, working into the next chain to that, pulling up a loop, yarn over, working back into that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, and make a chain. Skipping the next chain, working into the next one, hook through the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, and make a chain. Skipping the next chain, working into the next one, pulling up a loop, yarn over, into that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, chain 1. Skipping the next chain, working into the one after that, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, making a chain. Now there you have 5 of the little beans that makes up every row. So it's a 1-row repeat. We do this along every single row. You go along and finish your first row, and I'll meet you towards the end. We've come to the last 2 stitches, so we're going to skip the next one and working into the very last chain space, pulling up a loop, yarn over, back into that same chain, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, making a chain. Now I just wanted to measure this before I go any further, and it is about spot on. Look, you could pull it out further, but I'm not going to. I'll just measure it as it is, and we're all good. So it's a 1 row repeat, which is nice and easy. So we're working into this gap here now, which is on the left hand side of your little mini bean. So popping your hook through, pulling up a loop, yarn over, hook through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, chain 1. Now we come over to the second one and we can see this little gap, nice and easy. That's where we're working into. Hook into the chain space, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4 and chain 1. Into the next, straight into that space, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull up another loop, yarn over, and pull through all 4, chaining 1. See this space here? It's nice and obvious for us, which is great. So working straight in that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pulling up another loop, yarn over, through all 4, chain 1. And this is what we do for our whole square. It's so nice and easy. I'm just loving these little lightly textured squares that have such an easy pattern, yet they look so gorgeous. And this is certainly one of them. Into that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, into that same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1. Keep on going to the end. Into that little space on the very left hand side, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook, chaining 2, turning your work, and now we're doing exactly the same thing. We're going to work into this little left hand side space that is really obvious to see next to these little beans. So let's keep going. Into your space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1. Popping your hook through, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull up another loop, yarn over, through all 4, yarn over and chain. Loop, pull through and chain. Loop, loop, pull through and chain. Loop and loop, pull through and chain. Loop and loop, pull through and chain. And this is what we do for the whole square. Of course, as you're getting towards what feels like the end, measure your work so you don't go and do unnecessary work and have to pull it undone. That is the last one. I'm at the end of row 7 and it's time to check that we have the same amount of little beads that we do on row 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 on the first row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on row 7. So we're going well. Let's keep on with this and I'll meet back up with you soon. Here we are lined up against the crunch stitch and we're nearly done. Maybe 4 more rows and that will be it. And we're on the last 2 stitches. Hook through, pull up a loop, yarn over. Hook through, pull up another loop, yarn over. Pull through all 4, yarn over, pull through and make a chain. So then we're going to go all the way over to the side do the last stitch, and that is the end. That matches up nicely. Now we'll go off and work our yarn ends in, pulling our yarn through, popping it on our needle, and let's see where we can do this neatly. Down in through that very last stitch, and then working down the side of the square. Trying to weave in and out of the stitches. And that'll get grabbed once we do our joining of the squares as well. Through the center of that first stitch. Now we'll go along the bottom chain. That's a nice easy one. Turn around and go back. And there we have a really lovely mini bean stitch. Thanks for joining in with me, guys. I'll see you all again really soon. Bye for now.